Hello, people. Hello. Thanks for the raid, Onkalainen. Greatly appreciated. Ooh, look at all the people. Lassi Lintunen, hi. Hi. Okay, how anime can I sound, really? Hi. Not starting quite yet. Sort of warming up. Because I haven't streamed any video games before. So I really don't know what I'm doing. So, and also I'm impatient. So I want to check things out. All the technical stuff. Discovery number one was that if I click away from the game window, the audio cuts out. So be prepared for that. So if I need to do anything except play the game, you're going to be out of the lovely music. But let's see if we can get you to hear that lovely music. And I also want to check my my audio levels, if they're okay. Because this exercise will be particularly sensitive in that regard. Okay, let's see if we can get the lovely music there. So, how is this? Comparing the music volume to my voice. Okay, turn down the music a little bit. I can do with that. Actually, I'll do it from here. Is that better? Actually, what I'll do, because I've got plenty of time, 3 minutes until I'm officially starting. So I'm going to remind myself how to use the controls, because this doesn't support the mouse at all, which is weird for a Muad mouse to play a game that doesn't support me. I'll just turn down this stuff a bit and turn up the volume on my computer. So there. Okay, how's the music now? Din, 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 din. Okay, good. If at any point it all gets muddled, if you can't hear my voice, then do give a holler, because I can't really hear what's going on. So this is really weird for me, because I've never had a game console that has a controller. Never ever. Like, the closest thing that I've ever had was my Commodore 64, which had a joystick, and that was like 2 buttons. No, sorry, I lie. It was 4 buttons, 2 on the stick, 2 on the base. But anyway, I'm really not used to controller stuff. Ooh, Ville Poika, raiding. Thank you very much for the raid and for hosting as well. Kipina, welcome. I'm being raided from all over the place. Wonderful, wonderful. Da-da-da. Yeah, as I was saying, please be patient with my use of the controllers. I will make tons of mistakes. Consider it a form of comedy that I really can't use controller controls. I'm using a keyboard, so it's not exactly optimal. But yeah, the deal here for everyone listening and watching is that I play a lot of video games that have dialogue and no voice acting by voice acting the stuff myself. I read aloud a lot, and that really helps. It's a wonderful thing for a GM, because I GM lots and lots of games, so sort of making voices and using my voice and finding emphasis in the right places and making the way I speak significant is highly useful. Makes for nice drama. I'm so with accents. That's not gonna be my strong suit, really. I have a few that I know decently well, but that's not what this is about. This is not about being perfect. This is about playing a game and then finding the voice for the characters, and for me to warm up my my old habits, because I'm an English major. I've been trained for this, in the sense that I've had to listen to my own voice and be precise with my pronunciation. I've also done some theatre and that sort of thing, but these past few years I've been doing everything in Finnish, which was really weird after an impermissibly long time of doing everything in English. Then I sort of switched over to Finnish, especially now that I've gotten involved in politics, Finnish language, because I don't know Sami, and oh bloody hell! Critical Role started a rerun 2 minutes ago. I'm competing. Oh no. So yeah, if my voice acting offends you, you can always pop on over to Critical Role and check out those professionals. But yeah, I've dabbled in voice acting before, and I do it sort of casually. I've done a couple of paying gigs, but this past year or two, it's gone downhill a bit. I blame Noppaturi, TTRPG game, because it's a Finnish thing, and we try to do Finnish. So that's sort of my objective here, is to warm up my English again, warm up my dramatic reading, also play a game that I rather like, and also, because I'm me, I will be commenting on politics, and I will be commenting on game design and various other topics related to the game at hand. Okay, more or less related to the game at hand. I may go on a tangent every once in a while. Yeah, fuck it, it's my stream. Oh, that's another thing. It's my stream. It's my utterly personal stream. I can curse as much as I want, and so on, so forth. Okay, Umbra is saying that I wish you all could have the joy of hearing me read Winnie the Pooh out loud. Yeah, it's actually one of my specialities. One of the few things that have really kept me going in the English pronunciation department. It's rather easy, really, because they have very distinctive voices. The way they're written, it's really lovely. But no Winnie the Pooh tonight. Tonight is about Celestian Tales Old North. It is by Equator Games. EKUATOR Games. I have no idea where they're from, but their Kickstarter was in New Zealand currency. I'm not sure if... I don't think they're native speakers because the earlier versions of this game had horrendous grammatical errors. Absolutely incredible. So my guess at the time was like Polish, maybe? But yeah, it's a JRPG sort of game. Probably not an actual JRPG, but who knows? If you know, or if you find out, I couldn't, not with an easy googling at least, then do share this in the chat. This is one of the things you can share in the chat. All sorts of points and ideas and observations are welcome, but utter hate speech and you're out. We don't fuck around with you a lot. Yeah, Mihka, this is for you. Just so you know. I've heard you go on rants against the British on various occasions. Check out the stream for more details. But yeah. Here, the game. I've played this through once, so I've unlocked lore, I suppose. So there's lots of characters, factions, what have you, places. There's a lot of background information, and my experience last time was that the game is almost incomprehensible without having visited the lore section here. So to warm up, I thought I'd read some of the places and that sort of thing to see what we're going for and what we got. So let's begin. Because this exposition I will do in what I imagine is like my own voice. Just to warm up. But before I do that, I will add some sugar into my tea. Oh, by the way, don't do this. Like sugar, caffeine. You really shouldn't do those when you're doing voice acting or like anything voice strenuous stuff. It's really bad for you. It dries you up and makes you salivate unpleasantly. But I'm a bloody amateur and this is my channel, my stream. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. If I want to drink tea, there's no one to stop me until I run out of tea and if Umbra refuses to make any more. Better. So, let us visit the world of Celestian Tales. The Old North. The realm of the Old North. Beyond the mountains of Great White Serpent lies a land at the northern edge of the Scarlet Queendom, accessible from the rest of the Queendom solely from the Cavern of Sylphs, a gaping hole at the feet of the mountains, through which a river flows. The Old North is a secluded realm where time seems to stand still. Yeah, that not native, I think, because there are things there. Like, I'm not disparaging it. It's just I actually like the sort of exotic nature of it. In that it doesn't have all fantasy fiction should not conform simply to the conventions of British English, of modern British English, no less. So, that's the Old North. Time seems to stand still, and so on. This is connected to some, like, a greater game world that I think I'm missing a part of, which is something of a pity. Levantine. City of Levantine. As it was nearly impossible for humans to travel the fey-enchanted cavern of sylphs on their own. One among the pioneers, the wealthy gentry Blaise Levant, decided to build an outpost at the cavern's mouth to act as a gateway to guide the others that follow. Such an initiative worked brilliantly, both for the human incursion and for his own, as ruling the gateway meant imposing fees to each and every man that passed through. Sexist language. But that is to be unfortunately expected in a fantasy setting. It sort of, people tend to take it as part of the register that it's old timey. Oh, women pass for free, and also non-binary. As long as you're not a man, it's a free ride. In a few years, the outpost became known as Levantine, and grew to be a town and then a city, carved upon the mountains atop the cavern itself, to be impenetrable by any attack from the native inhabitants of the realm. As the human armies continued its incursion to the realm in a losing battle against the ancients, Levantine was comfortably safe and kept itself detached from the war, focusing solely on trade and moving goods. Okay, colonialism. Let's see. Activate scroll. Okay. Like, this is what I mean. This is what I mean when I say that I can't use really these controllers. Make a he, him pronouns. Thanks for the heads up, actually, because I've sort of sworn to myself that I would use, when I introduce myself, that I would introduce my pronouns, like he, him pronouns, because that is like the slightest, easiest bit of a thing to do. But yeah, I actually measured it once, that he, him pronouns is the same exact length as a tota noin ni, which is like a buying time for yourself sort of utterance, which is basically empty. So it's really no trouble. But fortunately, the Finnish language doesn't have gendered pronouns. So fortunately for the language and fortunately for the people, less fortunate for when we try to cross over to the English language or other silliness that have these gendered pronouns. But anyway, we have some colonialism here. The ancients. I'll have to check the factions after this. But anyway, when the elves acted as intermediary between the humans and ancients, they chose Levantine as a neutral ground to hold the first talks. The place where the event happened is now known as the Wolf's Paw. Okay, so now I think I'll check because Levantine is like the important thing that we need to know. But let's see anything here that... nope. Nothing here. Nothing to see here. Main characters, known characters, that would be spoiler territory. And I really don't want to spoil the game for anyone if you are interested in playing it. But that gives us an overview of where we're going. And now we start the game. Okay. Our first selection of the evening. Character selection. 6 different characters. And I'll have to come up with voices for each and every one, but now we have to decide who we're going to go with, and I'll leave it to you, but I will not be playing Arya, because I played the game through with her once, so she's out. Besides, the way I voice act her, you don't really want to listen to that all too much. But Arya Geraldine. Arya has lived a life of rigid decorum and zealous faith as a daughter of the richest man in the Old North. While the most elegant and ladylike of the playable characters, she's a crusader of the Deus before anything else. She believes in one true faith and struggles to understand the concept of tolerance. Yeah, that was a delight, playing as her. Then we have Lucien Leroux. Okay, by the way, I really can't pronounce French, so you are shit out of luck. Oh, interesting in chat. Nowadays, Onkalonen says that nowadays there is also a Twitch add-on which gives you ability to get preferred pronouns next to the name on chat and see the pronouns of others using the same app. Unfortunately, it's only for Chrome for now. Of course it is. Because even Microsoft is using Google Chrome now. I'm more of a Firefox sort of person. Anywho, Lucien Leroux. I have no idea how I'm going to pronounce these names ultimately, but we shall see. Leave the balls and dresses for other women. A Leroux sits on a saddle at the vanguard. Ever since she was old enough to wield a weapon, Lucienne has been forged on the fields of battle. Duty and loyalty are her virtues and vices, as she often stands undecided whether to follow her conscience or her orders. Okay, this is interesting. And also, I have to, as a degenerate lefty, I have to appreciate the combination of a red armor and being at the vanguard. Yeah, a bit of a boob. It's not. It's almost a boob plate, but that does seem like an actually serviceable armor, which is nice. Because usually, if women characters have armor, it's ridiculous. If you want to see prime examples of this, then head on to Raid Shadow Legends, which is terrible in this regard, because they've got some beautiful character design, but then we have plate mail bikinis as well, and also like high heels on all the female characters, regardless of how much historical armor they're like wearing. It's really weird and like fucked up. But yeah, no high heels for Lucienne, I think. Isaac Goldenlake. A lowborn's life has been decided since birth, struggling just to live another day and then die as a nobody. Driven by ambition and hatred for the nobles, Isaac clawed his way out of poverty and into the higher ranks. From there he aims to create a better world for the poor, but finds himself gradually turning into those he once despised. Class struggle. I like it. And bloody hell, he's pretty. In Leroux, I think you did a good job. The E in Le is a le. Okay, thank you very much, Umbra. Isaac sure has had time to perfect his eyeliner. Indeed. Or maybe he's born with it. But realistically, there are no benefits to being born poor or anything. So, Iliane. Bearing stigma as a half-elf, Ilian keeps a positive attitude, though seen by her kin as a living mistake. The cheerful girl was sent to the human realm to find out if she fits better with her other half-kin. As realities confront her naivety, she fearlessly challenges the status quo, questioning why humanity has to be so grim. Hippies! Lovely. Yeah, an interesting outsider character. Then there's Camille Rhine. Born into a mercantile family, Camille was exposed to the outer realms through stories and laws told in books. Rational and progressive, she embraces novel inventions and radical ideas shunned by society. She dreams of exploring the wonders of the world, but nobility demands her to stay and serve the homeland. Oh, interesting. She looks very much like a sort of a democratic socialist student. There's something about it, her like appearance. But again, look, clothing that actually looks like armor and things you can travel in, which is nice. This a bit less so, but elves, they do sort of get a pass. She's a glass cannon anyway, so. And then we have Reynard de la Forêt. Heir of a family tasked to guard an ancient forest full of horrible terrors, Reynard was raised a hunter. As one of the greatest warriors of his generation, he believes that his role in this world is to fight. However, a knight is expected to be more than a warrior, but also a leader of his people, something Reynard has much to learn about. Okay. Actually, cool thing. 2 male characters, 4 female characters. No straight out non-binary representation. But yeah, this is a combination you hardly ever get. That you have a. It would have been interesting if Ilian had been made non-binary. But here it is anyway. So, who's going to be our main character, so to speak? The selection we make here basically means that we get some dialogue that is exclusive to that character, and also we always have to have that character active in the fighting team. They can't be in reserve at any point. When it comes to the mechanical balancing, yeah, I'm not quite sure. I think some of the characters are a bit better at things than others, but they're all I think perfectly good. Okay, we got 3 votes for Comrade Isaac, I think. There are no competitors. Oh, okay. Martonovo, welcome to the stream. And yeah, I sort of counted you as having voted for Isaac, but apparently haven't. So it's 2 votes for Isaac. And his fabulous eyeliner. Lassie Linton, and welcome back after watching The Mandalorian. I'll probably be here, but I'll probably stream for at least 2 hours. And then, well, it all depends on how well my voice does and so on. Okay. obviously it is Isaac Golden Lake. Comrade Isaac is the winner. Prologue, the imposter. Oh shit, this is actually challenging. Oh, I like... This doesn't look very cozy. Her illness is too grave. Her body has grown too weak. I am sorry. There is nothing left for me to do. I'm way too chipper, actually, for the mood. I am sorry. There is nothing left for me to do. Actually, tell me if my voice is too weak in these more heartfelt situations, because the volume does go down. Okay, now we have to decide what the accent is. This is tricky, actually. Isaac is the trickiest of the bunch, maybe, for me personally. Arya was easy, because that's just like very haughty-taughty, comedically like Monty Python upper-class twit. Or like this Pride and Prejudice, highly cultivated form of speech. And then Renard is like over the top, basically barbarian. But this is tricky. I think I'll start, because I don't really know the story behind here. Something a bit northern would be nice. Sort of northern English might be appropriate. Not really my specialty in any way, but maybe I'll learn. Also, he's titled Reed. I'll try something young and earnest. But father, isn't there anything you can give her? She's a devout follower of the... She's a devout follower of the Deus. Maybe if a healing crystal can be used. Do not be foolish, young man. The blessings of the Deus are reserved for those of noble birth. The crystals are not meant for commoners. What do you mean? She's sick like this because she worked hard to pay the taxes. Now, after everything she's done, is she just going to be forgotten, thrown away? Everyone has a place in this world, boy. Nobles live to lead the commoners, who in turn serve them. 'Tis the law of Deus Valarus. Worry not, thy mother shall be accepted in the eternal realm for her service in life. So you're just going to let her die? Everyone shall one day die. What matters is that she has lived by the words of the Deus. No. I refuse to give up. Reed. Mother, don't get up. Reed. It's all right. I've lived my life. You must let me go. Mother, if you live well, we'll be able to see each other again. I shall leave the two of you alone. That's an interesting ye at that point. Yeah, that priest's a dick. Oh, here comes Francis. Sorry for your loss, Reed. Look, you should come with us. This crappy village is done. The harvest failed, the youth's left to soldier, and down winter is knocking on our doors. This is my home, Francis. Our home. How can we just leave? We can either leave or sit on our asses and starve to death. Where would you even go? I've talked to fellows at Whistling Woods. We can join the lot there and stay as foresters. Foresters? You're going to become a criminal now? Yeah. We'll poach, rob, and steal. There's no happy ending for people like us, Reed. But at least there's something to eat. I'm not sure I want that kind of life. Suit yourself. If you ever change your mind, you know where to find us. Glad that you enjoy my rolling R's. I have a few of them every once in a while. There's so little to eat. I won't survive a week without what I have left. It looks like I have no other choice. Forgive me, Mother. The Whistling Woods. I'll have to go through the Great Plains. Goodbye. Home. Okay, now I have control of the character. There's a place where I can save, and yeah, I like the character as well. I like the art style here. I like the sort of muted colors, and especially in the background. But then the selection, the color selection on the characters is rather bright, so you can see where you're going and where you're at. I really want to check out this village a bit more, see what they have to say for themselves. Can we get inside? Yes, we can. But like, usually in these games, I sort of expect the Elder Scrolls or Zelda experience. I think Zelda has this thing that there's lots of loot around to just, you know, rob. We've survived a number of failed harvests before, but this one, it's not yet winter, but the elders have started falling one by one. I don't think we'll go through this one. Actually, it should be get through this one. The grammar Nazi strikes again. Those like errors, they sort of frustrate me because they throw me off, make me hesitate, because mostly the language here is rather well written, but then when there's a grammatical error, it defies my expectations, and then The Deus's hands will call for us at our own time. A bit of Welsh there. The Deus's hands will call for us at our own time. Today it's your mother. Who knows if it's me tomorrow? The errors are a sign from Q. Must be born with it. His hair and makeup are impeccable, even though he's piss poor. Yeah, well, the one thing you can still have very good genes, even if you're genes that affect your appearance. Glad to be of service. Martunovo. But yeah. Now, I need to find a voice for this character. I'm not really happy with this way too upper class way I'm pronouncing everything. Because that's my take. My accent isn't even this sort of academic RP. It's a hoity-toity RP. I did a commercial for the voiceover for a commercial for the city of Oulu, and I was recruited by one of my lecturers asking me, "Can you speak a bit less posh?" And then I sort of did, yeah, after a couple of drinks, yeah, sure, but and if I'm paid to do it, then sure. But my the way I usually pronounce things is way posh. Well, let's see what the world has to offer and figure this thing out as we go along. I like the diseased look in this place. Ooh. There be monsters. I'm gonna go for a fight. Yeah, Ireland is one of those places that can really disabuse you of any propensity for poshness. Unfortunately, I did my language training in Glasgow, Scotland. That is English in name only. But yeah, okay, let's see what skills we have. No, I'm not sure if we have a tutorial here. But yeah. That deals damage and lowers the target's defense for 3 turns. Oh, by the way, this is set up for the easiest difficulty because I'm playing this game not for the challenge, but for the dialogue. But yeah, Shatter seems to be a wise thing, a juvenile wolf. And just a normal attack. Yeah, there we go. Run-of-the-mill JRPG sort of battle mechanics. You could basically sneak past them if you time it right. But I really don't want to at this point. Oh, also, I'm a bit of a completionist, and I also like to level up characters. So, there's that. Yeah, the bite is a headbutt. Yeah, must be Glaswegian. But yeah, the Glaswegian accent is something rather terrible. It's basically if you burn your tongue and then put a potato in your mouth and try not to vomit. Is basically what it sounds like. And then they know it themselves that's the way it goes. let's just overwrite. Any flowers to pick in this game? Not as many as I would like. I might stream Skyrim or Oblivion at some point, just to pick some flowers. Because that's basically what I do in those sorts of games. I like to play Elder Scrolls games like as if it were The Sims. When I played the Elder Scrolls Online, lots of people just sort of... I played so much like an NPC, you know, like walked to places, that people would come up to me, like players, well, okay, Noble, you there, help me. No idea about the gender so far. What happened, sir? A wild boar attacked me while I was riding my horse. Nobles are so easy to do. My leg, it's broken. What would you have me do, sir? Take me to the nearest priest. He'll have healing crystals. Those should heal my wounds. Well, hurry up now. The pain is overwhelming. Actually, quick tip. If you want to sound like an upper-class twit, do an overbite. Just pull your jaw back a bit, and then you get this, overbite. And then everything you say sounds like you don't really have a chin. It's so easy for your kind, isn't it? What? What are you talking about? Everything in this world. Everything is set up so that nobles like you can live in happiness. Get sick, and they'll patch you up good. Get hurt, and they'll lick your wounds. Meanwhile, commoners like me, we toil and suffer. And for what? Your tone is offending me, young man. Bring me to the priest now, and I will forget this transgression. No. What? Wait. Why are you drawing your blade? You can't possibly... Interesting. The punishment for attacking a noble is death. Help! Help! My mother deserved a healing crystal far more than a spineless coward like you. Your mother? Please, don't. I will give you gold. Oh. Oh. No turning back now. The life of an outlaw it is. Let's see. He should have plenty of gold. I really should have played this character first. Huh? What's this? To the Honourable Lord Levant, I, Pascal of House Golden Lake, hereby entrusts my son Isaac into your hands. I am gravely ill, and my house has long been ruined from debt. But my son is a good man. He is the last of my house, and has neither retainers nor relatives. And I missed the rest of the message. The last of your house? What a coincidence. So am I. And we look alike too. Maybe I will take this life of yours. Life as Isaac the Squire sounds better than Reed the Bandit. Very well. From now on, I shall become Isaac Goldenlake. I will be a knight someday. A fair and just one, who cares about his subjects. Oh, now there's a lack of analysis, but he is young. Cares about his subjects, like it yeah, it's very nice to care about the people whom you hold in thrall, who are absolutely dependent on your magnanimity. But yeah, he's a young and liberal. A better knight than a noble could ever be. Now, it's Levantine. Oh, I so misjudged this character based on the earlier playthrough. Oh, goodness. We're almost landing, young master. Oh, we need a bit more Irish. Maybe I need a bit of whiskey. We're almost landing, young master. Young master? Beg pardon, sir. Oh. Were you talking to me? Yes, young master. We're about to land. You might want to prepare your belongings. Oh, good. How much do I owe you? I've got gold coins. One of those tricky words. Gold coins. I've got gold coins. I had this play once, like, what's it called? On the Razzle by Tom Stoppard. I had this, basically this exact thing, a G followed by a C. That really threw me off. I've got gold coins. There's no need, master. We wouldn't dare. What? But you've taken me all the way here, even though you weren't planning on... Okay, I'm really now thrown by the accent. I did a bit of a... I was slipping into a... something approaching Cockney in the previous scene. And I sort of liked that. But now, he's pretending to be a knight, or a squire, a noble. So what would he sound like if he's a commoner trying to sound like a noble? He would sound middle class, I think. Or this sort of climbing middle class. A commoner trying to sound like a noble, isn't that you? No, actually. I actually come from a fairly wealthy family. I think I'll do pretty much me, but a younger me. Young Ernest me. See where it goes, if I can find the voice, because this sort of double acting is really challenging. If you want to see a really good example of this, not in terms of voice acting necessarily, but acting in general, Farscape. Check out Farscape. Any time the main character is playing, sort of masquerading as an enemy officer. But anyway. What? But you've taken me all the way here, even though you weren't planning on going this way. You know what? Just take this. Should be enough for the fees. But it's a commoner's duty to serve. If another noble sees me charge you gold for such a trivial service... No, I command you, O lowly servant, take these gold coins and use them for your own good. I won't speak of this, nor should you. Keep it and buy yourself something good to eat. You are a generous and kind young master. Thank you. I'll never forget this. Oh, remember to account for teenage angst in the accent. Good point. That felt good. Let's see, what shall we have now? What the hell is happening? It's my game is getting a bit fucked up. I really like the art style. Pity about the terrible frame. Oh, good God, this is terrible. It's apparently OBS and this game don't really get along. I hope the animation is available on YouTube or somewhere. Oh, such such music. This is the King, Alain. So we'll need to go for something Arthurian, I think. He's getting up there in years, judging by the grey, but still possibly energetic. If I go somewhere between sort of Arthur and Merlin, try to aim toward that. Welcome, young ones, to Castle Levantine. Your journey must have been long and tiring, but I ask that you listen to what I have to say. Your parents sent you here so that you can learn under my tutelage. I may not be the best mentor of knightly arts, nor may I be the best in matters of piety. But as bearer of the sacred sword Garou, I shall do my best to teach you. So you're not the best at one or the other, but you've got a shiny sword. That's wonderful. I really like your CV, dude. Camille of the Rhine, how is your family? Is Lord Robert in good health? Okay, another troublesome character. I have sort of voices for all the others, but she isn't all that noble. Basically, she would she's merchant class, bourgeois. But yeah. So she's studious, so something academic. I think something academic would work. Also maybe earnest, judging by the character art. Also, they're like teenage squires, so basically earnest sort of comes with the territory and certain over-the-topness. Also JRPG. He tries to give that impression, my lord. But my father isn't getting younger. I see. I shall send some medicines as gifts for him then. Your brother too earned his knighthood in these halls. I shall temper you in the same fire. I hope I can make them proud, my lord. Maybe go a bit higher. I hope I can make them proud, my lord. Yeah, that's much better. Because by her bearing, she isn't like... she tries to fly under the radar most of the time. I burned your brother, I shall burn you too. I get very much the same impression. But anyway, I hope I make them... I hope I can make them proud, my lord. Less of the abs in that. Ah, isn't it Reynard from House de la Forêt? Stories of your might precede you. You'll see them firsthand soon, my lord. I'm like, because he strikes me so much as one of those, like the teenage thug in anime that goes for a hyper-masculine, gravelly voice and tries to go as low as possible and be as boisterous as possible. Well, also just simply I like that. It's really entertaining to do, and it's also rather easy. Ultimately, it doesn't take quite as much energy as a more haughty thing. This haughty accent. We'll get to Aria next, so you'll see what I mean. But anyway, Renard said, "You'll see them firsthand soon, my lord." Actually, I need to go a bit lower because there will be characters inevitably in this game that will have more of a claim to a lower voice. Your family are unsung heroes that defend the realm, Master Renard. Do you think your own legend can someday rise up to their glory? I wouldn't have agreed to come here if I didn't believe so, my lord. What a spirited youngster. I'll expect much of you, kid. Ah, Arya of the Goldland Geraldines. I was surprised to hear of your coming. I am, after all, far from being the most pious of knights. Mine lord is too humble. The name Levant owes thee for its praise all over the Old North. Faith comes in many shapes, my lord. Thine great wisdom is one amongst it. Very diplomatic for a fanatic. 'Tis an honour for me to be allowed to learn under such a man. Well, well, I see Lord Gareth has taught you to be a prodigy in the art of speech. You'll no doubt succeed in the ballrooms, but there's more to knighthood than politics. I understand, my lord. I shall deliver thee my best. Yeah, that's what I mean. That's basically, you have to tense up your face really hard, because that it's part. Often when you want to find an accent or a voice, look at the facial expressions, because if someone is sort of has a stiff upper lip sort of thing going on, tries to keep a poker face and not show their feelings, then they'll end up with tightened muscles and all sorts of tension, and you get a tense voice. Lucien, my, look at how you've grown. I heard you've just vanquished another band of renegades with your uncle. Is it true? Here I think I'm going for a stern, sort of militaristic feel. She is in full armor, after all. And born to the sword, basically. Indeed, my lord. Lord Uncle himself led the skirmish to glorious victory. Lord Uncle, a somehow odd choice for a nickname, don't you think? I'm sorry, my lord. I got used to calling him as such. It's difficult to find a balance between Arya and Lucien. Both are a bit stiff, but one's prim and proper, and the other one is supposed to be sort of frank and earnest. Martunovo declares Lucien a lesbian icon, and not limited to lesbians. I would say, my personal preference. Okay, it's her and Camille that I fancy the most out of this lot. It's all right, Lucien. A niece is allowed to be fond of her uncle, isn't she? How's my brother-in-law doing? Still as relentless as ever? As is fitting for the finest swordsman in the Old North, my lord. Good then. I hope he'll always stay that way. Young Master Isaac, my deepest condolences. Okay, way too chipper. I really should remember to read the sort of eye through the whole thing before I open my bloody mouth. Young Master Isaac, my deepest condolences regarding the state of the Golden Lakes. I'm not very close with your father, but I shall respect his last wishes and take you in as squire. Thank you, my lord. Is something wrong, my lord? No, something is troubling me, but I can't seem to put it. I guess I'm just getting old and forgetful. Now, this is a rare occurrence indeed. It's not often we see an elf wishing to be a squire. Yet the badge you brought is your father's, you say? Here's a look at. She's foreign, but I don't. Okay. The way I've done her before was somehow a bit jilted. Let's see how it goes. There's sort of a bit sort of offbeat. Yes, Mother gave it to Ely and said that she should show it to you. I knew him full well, Lillian. Your father was a good man. And if you are indeed his daughter, then you do have the right to be knighted. Thank you for this opportunity, Lord. Ely will cherish these days. First of all, though, perhaps I should have you learn how to correctly address nobles. Huh? Did Ely say something wrong? No matter. I suppose it will take care of itself later. Now I realised I was basically doing Kiri from the Mighty Nine. Knighthood. Such a thing is not a privilege given to those born of noble blood. It is a sacred responsibility, given to us by the heavens and by those who came before us. Some might think that being a noble means being entitled, but that's not all what it is. Noblesse oblige, the phrase goes. We are nobles not only in titles, but also in duties. Your training won't be easy, squires, nor will it be pleasant. This isn't the place for that. I might not teach you how to behave in court, nor how to charge into battle atop Adestria. But I will teach you the most basic and important tenet of knighthood, to perform your duties. Yes! They spelled tenet correctly. It might be that they're class conscious enough that they know that the word tenant, T-E-N-A-N-T, is for someone who pays rent, and tenet is the sort of a moral code. Yes, because autocorrection nowadays ignores the word tenet largely and says that, okay, you probably mean tenant, which is sort of very on the nose, really, that morality and ideology is being erased in favor of basically capitalist realism. There is no alternative. Anyway, also very, very lovely that it's not all about... that it's not about privilege. Well, it is, because you have all the power. And now the tenets are basically to... Oh, well, you've got all this tyrannical power. It would be sort of in good form. It would be polite to use it responsibly and not be a hideous shit monster. You will be a hideous shit monster, probably. But well, know that it is frowned upon. We really can't be asked to sort of change the system because this is the way it's been done. And it really is rather comfortable. So, like, what the fuck? Let's just go with what we got. Political rant. Oh, there will be those. But yes, we'll got plenty of time for that. Okay, actually, a sip of tea. I'm still so glad about that. Correct spelling of the word tenet. Duties to our people, duties to our queen, duties to our realm. These are things that run our world. Husband, dearest, perhaps you should keep the speech brief. Is it just me, or is that art style there a bit different? Huh. Don't know. She does look rather young, though. Which is appropriate, really. Her name also is Wisdom. These young ones have just travelled far and wide to reach Levantine. I'm sure they need rest. Ah, yes. You're right, dear. Forgive me for the overzealous oratory. I tend to get carried away at times. Perhaps most of the time, husband dear? Okay, here I sort of get Alan's position. I might, you know, go on rants every once in a while. Let me show them to their rooms so they can rest. Oh, that's... No. A stress thing that I... This has become a bit of a English language tutorial as well, apparently. But, hey, it's my stream, so I do what I want. She's not really asking for permission in that sense, because she is fucking queen. So it would be... she is saying that she will show them to their rooms so they can rest. And you shut up, old man. Let me show them to their rooms so they can rest. Very well. Get some rest tonight, squires. Tomorrow you will start your training. Jacques, Leventine's master at arms, shall be your mentor for the day. It will be glorious! A start to your adventures! Because I really want him to be a drill sergeant. I want a drill sergeant in this fucking game. And if you start with that, what else could he be? So the queen is personally going to show them to their rooms. Yeah. We'll see how they've written Isaac. He is very, very pretty. And the king is getting up in years, you know, so... I have no doubt of that. An interesting phrase. You can pretty go... Okay, hello. Hello. Master Isaac, is there really nothing else you bring? Oh, that was insinuating, actually. Curious. Master Isaac, is there nothing else you bring? I'm afraid so. I'm afraid so, my lady. House Golden Lake hasn't been in a very prosperous condition lately. I'm very sorry to hear that, Master Isaac. I didn't think it'd be this bad. Perhaps I'll see if I can purchase some presentable attire for you to wear. Ah, she was talking about his clothes. She should. She really wants to get him out of those dirty rags. Such ragged clothes like the ones you're wearing. They're not very befitting for a noble. But I can't accept that, my lady. Please, don't need to trouble yourself. Very well then. But don't hesitate to ask if you need anything, Isaac. Okay, I want to do multiple readings of this. Very well then. But don't hesitate to ask if you need anything, Isaac. Yeah. 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 Let's roll on. Okay, I'll do an entertaining reading first, and then follow that up with the correct reading. Feel free to spend the rest of the day however you want, but don't forget to rest. Tomorrow your training begins, and you'll need all your energy. Feel free to spend the rest of the day however you want, but don't forget to rest. Tomorrow your training begins, and you'll need all your energy. Now we have a tutorial bit of dialogue. Interesting. If you ever wonder where you should go, check the law book to see where you should go next. That'll keep you from being lost. Okay, here I can sort of see that, okay, you've got this Squire's Handbook that tells you what you need to know. But yeah, I remember there being a few of these sort of in-character tutorial things. Some of them are not quite as plausible as this one. And it sort of threw me off when I was reading. Anyway. Good God. My queen. Okay, again. It'd be disrespectful if you don't do your best because you lacked proper rest. It'd be disrespectful if you didn't... It'd be disrespectful if you don't do your best because you lacked proper rest. I understand, Lady Sophia. Thank you. I shall leave you... Okay, obviously I need a break because I'm sort of getting frazzled. But I shall leave you to your own then, Master Isaac. May you find Levantine an enjoyable place. Okay, and then the dirty version, and I'll take a break. I shall leave you to your own then, Master Isaac. May you find Levantine an enjoyable place. Okay, yeah, now, I'm really gonna take a break. Maybe she goes through every single one of them in this one night. I'm not sure if it's sort of a pre-selection process or anything. But yeah, I'll take a break, maybe about 5 minutes or so. I'll get back on it about 25 past. Be quiet for a while. But yeah, I'll leave the lovely music for you. Hello, everyone. Oh, to adjust my mic. There we go. Yeah, there's a reason why in Noppaturi we have 10-minute breaks. It's way more convenient that way. Soon I'm gonna get some piping hot rooibos, which will do my voice some good. Because no caffeine, but it's hot. I can't wait to see what Onkaloinen clipped. The auto-generated title or URL is very interesting. Fancy antediluvian mallard. So, everyone recovered? Had your bio breaks? Well, hopefully, yes, because I intend to proceed with the game. I shall leave you to your own then, Master Isaac. May you find Levantine an enjoyable place. Let's see. Level 2! Okay, I have control again. Oh, by the way, that thing with the animation, that was weird. Because I've... it's just an animation in... on the screen and so on. Like I've streamed Dungeon Draft on Noppaturi. I've like painted maps in Dungeon Draft, and that takes a hell of a lot more resources than let's see it again, than like this, for instance. It's also in like beta. So it's not, the code hasn't been finalized. But still, it didn't affect the performance that badly. Yeah, well, Marttu, if you miss any bromance, I will, well, this will stay here, and I'll also upload this to YouTube under Muad Mouse, user Muad Mouse, probably. I'll be shy. Let's see what Reynard has to say. Hey there. What are you doing coming into my room? Can't wait till tomorrow's training. Must be a lot of swinging axes around. And Camille? Oh! You startled me. Can I help you with something? If not, I'm a little busy sorting all this stuff, so... can you please leave? Hey, the door's open. Maybe they don't actually have doors. But because I'm a completionist sort of person, I'll bother every single one of these. Hello, my name is Ilian. Ili is still new to all of this. She is a little afraid of making mistakes. But she looks forward to playing with the other squires. It'll be fun, right? Yeah, it's basically a barracks for the proper level of bromance. I think I sort of got a hold of what Ilian's voice should be. Precise pronunciation of the words as they're written. Yes, she did talk about herself in third person. Don't really... like, the world building here is such that it may even be a thing that they don't have a... the elves might not have a first person singular pronoun. So pronoun play, which is interesting. Now, Arya. Greetings, fellow squire. May the Dells guide us both in our quest for knighthood. And dismissed. Hello, fellow squire. What can I help you with? Let's do our best in squiring and becoming knights together. Okay, not that competitive, which is nice. Our best in squiring. So feels weird. I think you get what I mean when I say that. They're probably not native, but there's someone here. Someone in robes. He has a menacing look about him. So... oh, obviously nobility. So let's go for a deeper voice. A strong voice. Ah, it's good to see new faces around. Welcome to Levantine, Squire. Do you fancy reading? Are you here to find a book or two? You can find many things to read here. Go on ahead and dig in. Let's see. Ah, there's some honor medal. Some sort of collectible. I really don't know what they're about. But it's a honor medal of the Sutandi. Whoever that is. Probably like a... Actually, it might be a Kickstarter thing. That if you put in enough cash, then you'd get your name into stuff. Welcome to Levantine, honoured squires. I hope you enjoy your stay. Hey. Hello. It's a daunting task to join a war at such a young age. Please, put your own safety above all else. It may not sound knightly, I know. I'm not one, after all. Still, I can't imagine the grief of not seeing you return, dear squires. Hello! Not gonna do the Losty voice because the hubby's right there. Would be bad form. Has the Master at Arms given you a task for your training? Perhaps these children are still weary after their journey, dear? Children? Is it wise to send them straight into training? Knighthood begins with discipline, my dear. It has to be forged from youth. I'm sure Jacques understands. He'll give appropriate tasks for these fresh squires. Don't keep him waiting now. Go meet him at the stables as soon as you are able. Yes, sir. Big evil vizier energy with the guy in the library. You don't say. There was something about the ragged moustache, for one thing, or the sort of a weakling beard. Not a full beard, as a proper man would have. But yeah, let's take a nap. See who joins me during the night. Should I rest now? That looks like one awesome bed to sleep in. Well, coming from where you do, or where I do. Yeah. Let's see what the night brings. I have to make sure you're all too tired to hump my young wife. That is a legitimate concern, I believe. Is that... It's cosmetic. Everyone's got, like, their own details here. There's a manual of something on the floor. With the Renard. Books for Camille. Ilian has... crayon drawings on the table. Good for her. Some sort of Bible for Aria, and Lucien had that, like, really swanky poster of her uncle, I believe. Okay. Cutscene. Young master, the Master's Arms is waiting for you at the stables. Please meet him as soon as you are able to. Just a generic servant thing. Basic Downton Abbey stuff. Actually, if you want to learn something about class in Britain, Downton Abbey has there's something about it, because the arsehole who created it and wrote it, is a major conservative arsehole who actually thinks that the nobility are just simply better people. So the ideas presented there are rather toxic. But in that sense, it is quite honest. But let's see. Hello. Welcome to Levantine, honoured squires. This area is your private chambers. If you want to rest, please do so in your own room. Sleepovers are not advised in this castle, but they're obviously on to what the Queen is doing. It's of course the squire's fault. But I'm not going to talk to absolutely everyone at this stage. You're late, squire. Get here and start working. Now listen up, squires. Horses are not merely beasts of burden. They are crucial companions for a knight. A horse gives one great advantages in combat, such as mobility and power from momentum. A lance strike from a mounted knight can devastate even the toughest of foes in a single impact. But power and mobility aren't the greatest advantage these horses give. Instead, it is to be noticeable. Mounted commanders are easier seen by their foot soldiers. Their commands can be better heard. Baron Riviere, the legendary knight known as the Moonblade, is known to be very skilled in mounted combat. A knight's mount is his status symbol. Such were his words of wisdom. Okay, that was very interesting. It's important to be noticed, and Also, there's this dude or someone. I'm not sure if it's a dude, but anyway, there's this great knightly commander who has a swanky name who said this. So, don't know who that person is, but anyway, would have been nice to have some like foreshadowing there. This is an outrage. Why must we wallow in this cesspit? We are learning to be knights, are we not? We should be on top of these horses, not behind them. Mika, enjoy your discovery. I will enjoy that as well. Today, hopefully. Yeah, we should be on top of these horses, not behind them. There's a joke there. Unfortunately, princess, that only applies to knights, not squires. Ooh. Then what is the point of doing this? 'Tis useless to learn what we will never need to do. To do this again, or not, isn't the point of this training, squire. Yes, you will probably never do this ever again, but someone will have to do it. Someone will have to clean your horses for you so that you can sit and lounge around lazily. Someone will have to feed them so they have the strength to carry you on their backs. Do you even notice that there are people, real people, doing all these things for you? Just like what I thought. Then this is the perfect train for you. I'll be back in a while. Don't stop picking up those nice squishy balls of dung. Whenever there's a drill sergeant character, I tend to go for Michael Palin's drill sergeant in Monty Python. If I didn't have this accent, I would go for the Full Metal Jacket one. Who was an actual drill sergeant. Oh, sorry, drill instructor, because Marines. So when Lord Allen talked about duty, he meant shoveling shit out of the stable. The Master-at-Arms did have a point there, though. Most nobles tend to forget that there are people doing the small things we take for granted. I know, but still... I guess this is just not the kind of training I imagined it'd be. Thou and I both, Reynard. This kind of lowly task is truly beneath nobility. Eek! Please don't bite me. Don't worry, Camille. She's quite sweet, see? See, you can pat her like this. She won't bite you if you're nice to her. I see. I'm not quite used to all these, tasks. As with me, and I would imagine none of us is. Yet it seems Lucian and Isaac are unmoved by this horrible stench. How could ye stand it? Me? Well, it's a bit different for me. I've been in the LaRue cavalry since I was 14. I'm used to horses now. 14? I would imagine thou need some training before being accepted into the ranks. Was it because you were a LaRue that the cavalry allowed thee in at such youth? Of course not. The LaRue holds their banner with pride, and even I have to earn my place there. It's why my lord uncle started teaching me to fight ever since I could handle a weapon. Back then I was 7, if I recall correctly. 7? Dear Deus, isn't it rare for a girl to train so early? Maybe. I've been watching Lord Uncle since I was little, though, so wasn't that odd for me. I guess if it's the Ravager that teaches you, it's to be expected. The Ravager. Now there's an uncle. I'm actually not sure Alan is the king. Seems to be more something akin to a prince consort to the queen. He keeps being referred to as a lord. Yeah, that's sort of funny. Ilian was dressed down for not using the proper titles, but it seems to me that they're not really that particular about the titles in the actual writing of the game. But so it goes. Titles, ultimately, they are quite yeah, they just pull it out of their asses, basically. If you're powerful enough, you just call yourself whatever you want. Basically, until someone stronger than you disagrees. Wait, what? You were trained by the Ravager himself? He's my uncle. There's nothing weird about being taught by your uncle. Yes, but not everyone has the privilege of being the pupil of the legendary Lord Severin. Ely is a little lost. Who is this person you're talking about? Lord Severin LaRue, also named the Ravager. Perhaps the greatest swordsman alive in the realm. Legend has it that he's won 100 wars and has never been defeated in battle. I think I've heard about him battling the Fae forces as well. Do the elves never talk of him? No, not really. We don't speak about humans that much in general. Ouch. Burn. Yeah, Luciana must have a very, very healthy niece-uncle relationship. She's got a poster of him on the wall. Ely used to think that you are enigmatic creatures roaming the world outside the forests. If anyone is enigmatic, that would be the elves, Ilian. Anyway, I want to personally see what someone trained by the Ravager can do. Is that a challenge, De La Forêt? Hey, stop chatting and finish your work, squires. If you don't work faster, I'll make you clean the chamber pots as well. Like, doing that sergeant voice is actually rather hard on my bits here, because it's sort of a strained whisper, because I try not to shout too loudly. If I should be like actually shouting it, that would be so much better, and I might do that later on. Consider yourselves warned. Finished at last. Now can we take a bath, oh Master at Arms? A bath? Far from it. Your task for the day is merely halfway done. You see this entire carriage full of dung? You have to deliver it to Mudtown, west of the city. Mudtown? Is it a town made of mud? No, not really. So why is it called Mudtown? Because there's a river and it's muddy. I don't know, kid, it's just a name. So why are we taking this dung pile there? Do they need it for something? For fertilizers. Got to send them fresh, so the villagers can grow us good vegetables. What's that I hear? Did you say chuckle at me, boy? Say chuckle. Huh. Another timid squire, I see. Not even brave enough to admit what he did. Is this how you want to live your nightly life, Isaac? Hiding when you're confronted? Is that wussy kind of life the one you're aiming for? If not, then tell it to my face. Manure isn't used fresh, Master at Arms. They have to compost for weeks before it can be used. If you use it straight from the horse, it won't be vegetables that grow, but weeds. Really? Yes. Fresh dung contains too much water, which makes it easy for weeds to grow. If led to compost, the dung will dry up, which makes it easier for vegetables to grow. That's surprisingly insightful, Isaac. There. Not so hard, isn't it, Squire? That's one. It should be, is it? When you use that thing at the end, the fake question, then it should be the reverse of what it was, like positive to negative, negative to positive. Not means is. Now, instead of being known as meek, others will think you're knowledgeable. You do seem to have know-how about agriculture. Do plainsmen do a lot of farming? Not that much. I just learned about it. Now listen up, squires. This is a very important lesson. More often than not, travelling is a dangerous task. Everywhere, roads are infested with wild animals and criminals alike. To mitigate these dangers, you should split into parties of 3 and prepare for encounters. Ooh, tutorial text. A party of 3 can work well together. More than that, and the fight turns cluttered and chaotic. Also, while the 3 stand in the front lines, the others can handle other tasks, such as guarding the cart. I would prefer to take the vanguard rather than being in the proximity of this horrendous stench. Me too. Let me go ahead and have a swing of my axe. You know, it'll take a while to have all of you fight over who does what. So here's how it'll go. Isaac, pick 2 to go with you and range ahead. The rest of you will stay with the cart and depart a few minutes after you. Very well. You can switch active party members to the reserve anytime out of combat. To do it, access the menu and change the party composition. I'm sort of betting that in universe, they do not have a menu with them. I'm not sure I really like this sort of tutorial thing. I do appreciate that they previously gave that sort of rationale for having 3 in the active party. Sort of makes sense. If the Master at Arms says that it is so, then it is so in the game universe. I'm fine with that. Oh, hello, Marttu. Who's sleeping with whom? Everyone's sleeping in a pile of shit. Himmeli menu would sometimes be really helpful in real life. Indeed. I'm sure there's an Excel for that. In case people don't know, Himmeli is a is what we in Noppaturi and in Oulu role-playing game circles call a situation where a love triangle is insufficient to describe the situation. So you need to add a third dimension, and it builds up and forms a very nice decorative sort of thing. But yeah, let's... The active party is the team that will fight battles. The party leader cannot be set to reserve and must always remain in the active party. Yeah, I already understand everything. I really don't want to go through that again. Good. Now go and return before sunset. Be careful of wild mongrels out there. The mountain roads can be treacherous. Mongrels? That's a bit racist, isn't it? Doesn't actually mean mongrels, I believe, which would be like crossbreed anything. Again, they don't really just know what the word means, I believe. But then again, one would expect racist language from a master-at-arms of a kingdom. So, now we get to head out. Yeah, override. There's a bit of boo plate action here with the female guard. In combat, every action has merits to be considered. Defending doesn't damage your foes now, but its 2 stamina prepares you for a bigger burst later. Also, don't discount the survivability it gives. Doubling your defense is huge. Actually, it is. Can't enter the townhouses. Violets are red, roses are blue. Wait, is that really how it goes? Words of wisdom indeed. The sound of flowing water and the breeze of the wind. They're so beautiful. This could be a perfect day if only he would take a hint and let me sit in peace. Yo, dude. What are you looking at? Learn not to meddle in anyone else's business, squires. I already cut up one of you lot. Oh, there's a guard preventing access. I'm sorry, entrance to this area is currently restricted. Please come back later. So they're very polite when you're noble. Haha. Yeah, obviously a Kickstarter thing, these honor medals. Collectibles. A very inaccessible park. Welcome to Upper Levantine, where nobles and gentries reside in the city. Should be gentry. Please mind your manners in this area. I like this sort of class thing that's they forefront. Oh, you startled me there, Squire. What would you do if I fall to the flux because of it? Let you fucking drown? No, actually I wouldn't. Because if I caused an accident to... it's not the individual's fault if they're stuck in a class society. Good equipment and well-prepared consumable items are essential for traveling. Always double-check your inventory and make sure you have everything you need. I sort of like this thing where they embed the sort of tutorial information in the dialogue when it sort of works out. This sort of tactics advice, for instance. Ah, are you the new squires of Levantine? My condolences for House Golden Lake, Master Isaac. May your family find peace. Ah, individualized. Didn't remember that. Oh, here's, by the way, priests. Excuse me, can thou spare a moment for Deus Valorous, the one true God? Deus Walrus, I want to see that. The Walrus God. Blubber and teeth. Or tusks, rather. Our church offers enlightenment for those who are lost in their path to follow the Deus. Okay, let's check this place out. Because they make it... It's very, very Catholic. Lots of devout music. Imbrat, living for that abuse of thou, thee, thine. Indeed. Indeed. We do weekly prayers together in Mudtown, but it doesn't have its own church. It's different when you close your eyes and pray in such a huge place just like this. Makes me realize how small I am as a person. That is basically the function of the thing now, isn't it? The opiates of the people. Oh, Kickstarter for Deus Walrus. Yeah, that would be awesome. Please contact Equator Games. But yeah. Yeah, there's a thing, like, about the stuff that villager said. The filthy peasant. That these cathedrals and such places do make you feel very small. They are very, very magnificent edifices, and they're really appealing in that sense. You get the sense of the sublime, something so big and unfathomable that it instills you with horror and also awe, like awe in the actual sense of the word. Sort of that your rational mind cannot quite encompass the place. So it's sort of a form of alienation in that sense. And it does make you feel small. And that is the function of it. On the other hand, it is rather cool, because you can get the same sense also in nature. You can like look at it at a mountain, or like if you see the ocean for the first time, that can be a really awe-inspiring experience. But yeah, he came here to feel small. Let's see this guy. Churches have always been my favorite place to spend free time. I would let myself be engulfed in peace, and by doing so, I can hear the voice of the Deus gently reaching my heart. The sermons here are great as well. Instead of high concepts, they touch topics that are more grounded and close to the people. Again, an interesting point. But yeah, when you think about cities, cities are bustling, very loud places that are, well, not quite familiar to our species. So then, when you have parties like a large organized religion, for instance, that can use or basically conquer so much space in that bustling urban environment that they can create something that is quiet and separate. They basically have a monopoly on peace. If you want peace, you have to do it on their terms. Or you have to have enough free time that you can just leave the city. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's see what the clergy have to say. Greetings. Would thee like to purchase crystals sanctioned by the church? Well, can't afford it. Ain't that just the way it goes? May those keep thy souls brave and thy minds clear. I am able to purify worldly wounds, but only the Deus himself can clear thy heart and mind. Embrace the blessings of the Deus, squire. Feel his warmth surge in thy veins, and be reborn in his light. Oh. Yeah, souls, minds, not the combination one would expect. Thy wounds have been cleansed. May Deus keep thy heart brave and thy mind clear. Well, the heart is actually an organ, so... Not that the organ is brave, but... But yeah, actually, something I want to note about the opiates of the masses. It's not opiates in the sense of heroin. It is opiate in the sense of painkiller. That when the society and its rules and those who wield power in it become too painful to take, you take a painkiller to withstand. For some, it's religion. Historically, it has been religion that gives you peace of mind and promises you solace in the hereafter. That life is shit, but you have to power through it and be a good little peon, so that when you die, then you can go to the good place. Nowadays, the opiate of the masses would be, well, mass media, such as Twitch. That's what we're doing, basically, here. And I have no illusions about this. What I'm doing now is, okay, it is informative, it is class conscious and so on, but ultimately I am, this is stress relief that I wouldn't need in a better world. Any words of wisdom before we leave? Be careful of the savage beasts lurking in the mountains. They'll attack anyone they see. Avoiding combat will save you time and effort. It's always an option to consider. In-game tactical advice. I like that. Appreciate it. Now we have flowers. This is an important thing that we have flowers here, but unfortunately we can't interact with them. I was actually very, very enthusiastic when I saw the flowers, and I said, "Can I pick those?" Can't. There we have them. Ooh, actually, a thing that we need to do before we go there. The active party. Who do we take to be the active party? Who do we want to fight with? Isaac is locked in, but we wouldn't want to get rid of him anyway. So who do we want to fight? Is interacting with flowers the same as petting a dog to people, usually? well. Flowers don't bite back. No, actually, I like dogs. Dogs are cool. Well, not cool. They're silly. Silly is better than cool. Okay, we've got votes. Ilian is in the party. Yeah, I agree. Camille? Lucien? Okay, Camille or Lucien. Do we have a tiebreaker between Camille and Lucien? Ilian is locked in. Okay, Lucien it is. I sort of agree in that from a tactical standpoint, because it's always good to have a tank. Oh, Lucien won by a landslide. Good. Actually, we can check their stats as well and equipment. Power, technique, vitality, dexterity. I have a very vague idea about what those mean, ultimately. I think power is like brute strength. We can actually find out. Okay, yeah, power would be brute strength, because Renaud's got it. Vitality is, well, vitality. Technique would apparently be accuracy. Sort of ranged stuff, maybe. I'm not sure about ranged. Let's see. Yeah, accuracy would be the thing that technique is. Dexterity is apparently sort of defensive, reaction times, that sort of thing. Yeah, but yeah. That's what we're working at. Wooden plate. Yeah, well, the religious, they're a funny lot. Ah. Yes, Isaac is a roguish type. He's got a dagger, or rather 2 daggers, and a shirt. But I'm sure we can get rid of the shirt. So, yeah, Ilian and Lucien, along with Isaac. Ba-ba. Spideys! We'll do the same as before. Shatter that that inflicts defense down. Let's see, I don't remember. Okay. Regenerate. Okay, healer. That's a good thing. Deals damage to all enemies. Well, can't do it now because stamina. Only got 3 stamina. And if I remember correctly, when you do attack, then you get 1 stamina. If you defend, you get 2 stamina. If you use one of these powers, you don't get stamina. But yeah, attack. It is basically our only choice. Here we got Battlefield Tyrant. Raises enemy aggression to Lucien. Raises Lucien's defense for 3 turns. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and body perfection. Okay. Perfect body. Removes poison, bleed, and blind. Restores small amount of HP, but we don't need to bother with that. But I'll take the aggression, because seriously, Ilian can't take many hits. Okay, and then actually, I trust Ilian to be able to finish off that mountain spider. Actually, let's do volley. Twang. There we go. And then attack with Lucian. That's... you, like, shield and halberd. Not a good combination. But still. It's fantasy. And with body perfection, anything is possible. Yeah, just fire away. Boom. That was actually a misclick, but I'm fine with it. Actually, that was a bit of a waste. I'll probably kill that. Kill that lower spider anyway. But then again... twang. I want to make sure that that one goes down. Ah, there we go. A very typical... stamina is actually more like how ramped up you are. Basically, yeah, it's sort of like mana points or something. The heat of the battle. But yeah, this is... although this game has some very interesting points about class and morality, the fact remains that the only way to become better at anything is to kill stuff. Also, if you don't kill stuff at the start, then you're gonna miss out. You're gonna be struggling in the late game. Also, a thing about the about aggression is that every time you use a special skill or attack, then your aggression goes up. If you defend, your aggression goes, or the aggro level goes down. It's just not very well displayed. The middle one has the thing. So now it's Ely's turn, and she'll volley. Twang. And then there was one. Ooh, Lucian isn't in a very good shape. I'll defend. Shatter. Now I can't use that, so I'll just... killed it. Usually in games like this you have to save mana for big baddies, but the stamina kinda gets rid of that hindrance. Yeah, also a point about the... that is that the difficulty level is set to normal, so that means that I recover all HP after every combat. At normal difficulty, that would not be the case. Raw meat. Renard should be happy. Those skills that the characters acquired were passive, I think. But yeah, that's Battlefield Tyrant. This is really very routine, this. butchery of animals. And shatter to the lower one. Lucian can take it. Oh. Not even at like half HP yet. Twang. Yeah. Show them, Millian. The squires are feasting on game tonight. Yeah, as Umbra notes, those monster avatars on the main map are too freaking cute. That they are. Coat of Vitality. We get to dress up. So, we want to protect Isaac, I think. Let's see. Oh, plus 100 health, plus 20 defense. Yeah. No shirt, only coat. Indeed. For some magnificent chest action. Unfortunately, the graphics do not reflect that. Oh, yeah, the creatures reset. So you can basically grind. Battlefield Tyrant. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, there it is. Ely, so let's attack that one. Twank. Thump. Banana. So attack. Which one should I attack? Actually, let's attack this one out of curiosity. Because then we have volley and see if... No. Didn't manage to kill both of them. The mountain boar has a defense up 50%. Still gonna go down. Too little, too late. And we got its mane. I'm not gonna bother with that one. Because the combat ultimately isn't that interesting in this game. There it is! The cart from Levantine has arrived. The hobbits. Greetings, villagers. We are here to deliver the contents of this cart on behalf of Lord Allen. Look at that! Such a big pile! Ah, indeed. And the stench is sickening. Is it? Really? It somewhat is, but at least there were beasts to fight. I thought it was going to be a boring trip. But that was kind of fun, I'd say. Why are you happy to hurt animals, Renard? Do humans find it fun? Of course. The heat of combat. The feeling of your weapon hitting a foe. It's exhilarating. Ely doesn't understand. Don't worry, Ely. Me neither. The cart is yours now. Please take care of it. We will, miss. Please inform Lord Levant that we are truly grateful for this. Never hast I seen someone so happy over dung. In the castle, that the heap is nothing but filth, but here they have their uses. Turning filth into something useful, Lord Alan does know what his people need. They need shit. Illy thinks it's very clever. She will tell her mother about this one day. Is this how a wise man rules? Duty to the people, huh? At any rate, we should return. The sun will set soon. Right now, does thy endurance know no bound, Lucian? I would assume that it does not. Why don't we take a look around for a bit before walking back? Seeing how the commoners are doing is part of a noble's duty too, right? That's a good idea, really. Very well. Let's take a rest for a while before going back. Lucian can go on all night. What have you to say for yourself, peasant? We used to grow a lot of crops, but lately the soil isn't that good anymore. Since Lord Levant began sending us piles of dung, though, things are getting better again. Such a noble king, or ruler, whatever he is. Then, ooh, houses. Gotta visit all the houses. Makes for a contrast compared to the castle barracks. The faded colors really sell this. Appetizing. Lucien truly has a silver tongue. I do believe it is steel, burnished steel. The river's currents used to be so strong that there were no fishes around here. But since Lord Levant built the watermill, not only are there fishes, we often get big catches too. So you can deplete the fish stock faster. Seems like a good idea to begin with. When you're hungry, oh, definitely. Ooh, cutscene. Illy likes this village. It's so peaceful, so different from the city and castle. The village reminds Illy of her home. Do many humans live like this? Unfortunately, Mudtown is an exception. Since it's only reachable from Levantine, the village has always been safe from outlaws. Not many can say the same. Indeed, prosperous villages are rare out there. And if there are any, they often become ripe targets for bandits and marauders. The realm is a dangerous place, Ilian. It's not always like this. Sometimes people are so poor they have no choice but to become bandits. If living honest lives isn't enough to feed their families, and still they must pay taxes to the nobles. Wouldn't you do that as well? We may see the outlaws simply from the surface, but there's always a bigger story behind it. Nobody wants to be criminals because they're born evil. Isaac, there is no need to put ourselves in that place. Deus Valarus created the lowborns to serve us, the noble caste. In turn, we are to guide and protect them. 'Tis how the Deus wrote the world, and 'tis how it should be. If one cannot afford to pay taxes, they may serve the realm in other ways, such as becoming soldiers. So just, if you can't pay, then just go kill and die? Yeah, that works. Never is there an excuse to take what is not rightfully thine. Such atrocities simply cannot be justified. I agree with that. Soldiering is much more exciting than a peaceful life anyway. Seriously, don't people get bored here? There's no fights, no dangers. I die in a week. Hey, boy! Yes, you there! Like harassing random kids on the street. Yes, you boy! Come here! A proper nobleman. Yes, master. Did you call for me? Are there any giant beasts around here we can hunt? Any renegades we can squash? No. There are nothing like them around here. See? It's so boring. Don't you agree with me, kid? Well, a bit. Are there always giant beasts, robbers and renegades outside, master? I've always wanted to leave this village and travel, but I don't know what's out there. You should be thankful to have good crops every year and not starve. Some villages out there are starving to death. If those kinds of people want to leave their homes, I can understand. But here, this village is already far better off than most in the realm. Why would you even want to leave? It's my father, young master. I want to go outside the village to look for him. He hasn't returned for years and I haven't heard anything from him. But I'm sure he must be out there somewhere. Aww. Are you sure you want to do that? It's a dangerous world out there. A different kind of place than this peaceful village. A boy like you won't survive for long. How are you going to find him if you can't take care of yourself? I guess you're right, miss. A kid like me would have little chance fighting beasts or bandits. But I can always avoid them, right? Avoiding enemies might be easy at first glance, but life isn't that simple. There will inevitably be encounters that you'll have no choice but to face. The more you avoid enemies, the less you'll be trained physically and mentally. There will be fewer fights, but the ones you have to face will be harder. That doesn't just go for you, it goes for us as well. That's why it's not always wise to avoid enemies, just because we're lazy. So, that was a nice tactics or good playing practice sort of thing. I like that. That one I liked. That one I liked. I see. Then I guess I should start training from now. After everything she said, you're still going to leave this village someday? Of course, master. If words can put my spirits down, how am I ever going to find my father? Look at this young lad. More villagers should learn from your confidence. What's your name, brave kid? It's Cameron, master. Cameron, huh? Good luck finding your father. If we ever meet again, tell me what you've seen in your travels. Now go back to what you were doing. The crops won't farm themselves, you know. Yeah. He's hungry and everything, you know. Will do, master. Thank you for encouraging me. You shouldn't have encouraged him, Renard. He's but a kid. The girl who started wielding weapon at 7 wants to lecture me about this. It's getting late. We should get going. Master at Arms must be waiting for us. Well, let him wait. I want to see what's in the village. Huge necklace. But yeah, I really like that dialogue. Oh, in Before Cameron is the BBEG. Yeah, has that feel. Actually, there's a sequel to this game. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like on GOG.com on sale now. Did you really just steal a poor villager's necklace? No, I appropriated it for the greater good. I blame Arya. Anywho, I understand that it has the same characters, but they're older. And it might actually have Cameron. Unless he dies in this one, I can't remember. Yeah, it was taxes. It was my right as a nobleman. Or noble. Although the man bit seems to be important in this world. In spite of everything. But yeah, let's equip that stuff before we forget. We, as in, it's not me who's actually playing this. Oh yeah, what does it actually do? Let's see. Health plus 40. I'd like to give that to Luthien because she takes the brunt of the hits. And she's a fan favourite, so she'll be on the active team quite frequently. Oh, she's got wooden plate as well. The man bits are important in this world, indeed. Oh, there's a trader. Yeah. Ah. Actually, an interesting class distinction. If you look at Cameron, who's got very sort of washed out colours, and everything is washed out, but the merchants. Bright red and sort of more starkly outlined. Interesting detail. Mucktown is small. Oh, Mucktown is small, but it's got fresh local goods, second to none. Oh, that went actually rather well. Sort of a bit of a Welsh thing going on there, bit hobbity, but not too much. I'm gonna sell my shirt. Yes, I'm sure about selling my shirt. Pleasure doing business with you. And there's a collectible. Ornamental lathe. There's something about the music actually that reminds me of Drift Moon. Anyone played Drift Moon? It's a Finnish game, like a real-time RPG. Let's see how the lower half is. Oh, this must be the merchant's place. It's got two, like a separate room and everything. Doesn't look like a place where you sleep with the cattle. Had to sell the shirts off your back. Well, it was your fault. You asked for it. And then Arya, being curious, finds a tiny white crystal. Let's see what the maidens at the well have to say. A mixture of rosemary and white wine can help make your face prettier. I don't need none of that. I'm plenty pretty as I am. The scent isn't for everyone, but Who cares if it can get men to notice you? Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. Actually, scent is underrated. It's an interesting point, actually. Scent has been, in scientific studies, scent has been found to be a very good indicator of genetic compatibility, and also we have the ability to smell if people are horny, basically, or if they're ready to reproduce. Most noble ladies marry later than villagers do, sometimes even in their 20s. Actually, historically inaccurate. The sort of idea that peasants married young, that wasn't actually the case. It was actually much more common to marry off noble children when they were young, because of alliances and such. There's no pressure for money, I guess. Or maybe just too busy attending balls. Attending balls? So the Queen would know something about that, I believe. Thank you for delivering the dungs, master and mistresses. Don't have enough dungs. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or a shout out. Ooh. The door to this house seems to be locked. Gonna come back here at some point, apparently. But right now, let's... Oh, yeah, there's a guard here. A guard here? Being stationed in a village is an easy job, but it's so boring. I just wish for at least a friend to chat with. Oh, how about talking with you, masters and misses? Are you in a mood for a chat? Let's see. Do you know that you can control your enemy's targets? Actions that you do in combat raise enemies' awareness about your presence, or as we soldiers call it, aggro level. Attacking raises your aggro level, and using items raises it even higher. Using skills contributes hugely to your aggro level. The more stamina you use, the higher your aggro level will increase, because this is just manual text. If you feel a key team member is endangered, try manipulating the aggro level to control the battlefield. It might be difficult at first, but if you've mastered this, you can fight even the strongest of foes. Yep, I sort of appreciate the effort here, but the execution could have been done better. But ultimately, this is like the register there is a bit different, so I think it might be very well a matter of them not having the time to actually fix it, because that's the last thing to be fixed, because it's difficult and it just isn't a priority. I'm overwriting that because I regret nothing. Martunovo. Good luck with that. I'll get rid of my stranger shyness by leading every convo with you there. Are you in the mood for a chat? Ooh, cutscene. What's wrong, Camille? You look like there's something on your mind. Oh, it's just... Nothing important, really. I keep thinking about what that kid Cameron said back there. About leaving that peaceful village of his. He said something about wild beasts on these paths, didn't he? Ha! It must be these weakling boars we've cut through. It's an easy job for us, but deadly for a little kid. Maybe you're right. I'm just afraid there might be... What was that? Something's coming our way. Get ready. Boss fight. Ram. You're not a ram. You are a boar. A rampant boar. Okay. Ilian's almost down. So. Time for some battlefield tyranny. I'll need to get rid of the additional attackers first. Because I won't be able to bring down that big one, I'm fairly sure. So concentrate on the... yeah, I don't really want to volley anyway. Actually, a regeneration might not be a bad idea. Okay, Lucian can take the hits. Isaac getting round? Just a Tuesday. Okay, so I soften that one up. Now I'm gonna kick it in. Yes. Down it goes. Then shatter the other one. Then attack. See if we can brought it down. Good. Now they're down to one attack per round. Keep attacking. Shatter. Okay, Ilian is almost at max. It's getting tired. Lucian is still ready for action. It's almost dead. There, damned your scarred hide. Ooh, level 4. And found a raw meat mane, a worn-out gauntlet, and a tiny white crystal. It's funny how wealthy and well-equipped animals are in computer role-playing games. How did we fail to notice such a beast the first time he passed? Oh, brilliant. How did we fail to notice such a beast the first time we passed here? Never mind that. Look at that heap of succulent, juicy meat. Are you going to kill it, Reynard? Of course I am. This catch can feed the whole castle for a day. But it attacked us because it felt threatened. We were trespassing her territory. Can't we just let her go? We can let her go now, but what if she attacks villagers some other day? We have weapons and armor, but those commoners? There are lives at stake here. It must be confusing for humans not being able to commune with animals. In Anontaure, the forests are safe because its beasts are protecting us. Unfortunately so, Ilian. The human world is different from yours. It might take a while for you to get used to it. Ili's not sure she wants to ever get used to this. Fine. Let's leave this beast here and Let nature decide its life or death. It attacked us, we defended ourselves. Done. Now let's get back to Jacques. 'Tis an agreeable notion. Let us make haste. I find the prospect of having to drag a carcass back to the castle terribly appalling. I hope you'll be alright, Miss Piggy. Before we get to another fight, what was it? A worn-out gauntlet. Let's see what the thing does. Power +1. Seems to be something that we could use. Next boss, a frogman called Kermit. Yeah, that would be appropriate. Actually, let's see Ilian. Ilian. No, wait a moment. I don't think that the that power is really the thing Ilian needs. Okay, attack goes up a bit. She could use that. Let's give a worn-out gauntlet to Ilian. Or is that appropriate? Because no, because she'd feel bad. She'd feel bad about it. We don't want that. But, well, Renard is the sort of guy who would appreciate a trophy after a battle well fought. There he goes. Now I sounded like that little tortoise that's, you know, fucking the shoe, the croc. Check it out on YouTube. Or check it out wherever you can. But ultimately, YouTube has an effective monopoly on this shit anyway, so there it is. Shatter, I will shatter your bones. Or, well, actually, exoskeleton, because arachnids. Also more appropriate because, well, it lowers defense. Let's see if we can... Oh yeah. One shot, one kill. Right in the face. Twang. There we go. Are you enjoying the tortoise? I think it's a tortoise. Might be a turtle. Not sure. We've got enough XP for this day. I think we can, because I think the closer we are to the castle, the weaker the enemies get. Therefore, that. Found 4 spider legs and a fang. Okay, who's carrying all that stuff? Isaac, probably. Renard also. Sure as hell won't be Arya. Another one's gonna bite the dust. Let's see if we one-shot this man. Bam, 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 bam. Fine stirring music. Fine stirring battle music. And then volley. Boom. Bye bye. Well, let's see what they had. They only had 3 intact legs. Cutscene. Oh, it's the guy who's definitely not evil or anything. Squires, what brings you to these parts? Just killing some beasts. A good pastime to train your muscles. We were tasked with delivering a cart to Mudtown. We're on our way back to Levantine. What are you doing here with those plants, mister? Me? I'm collecting white rocks, you see. They're the main ingredient to craft crystals. Crystals? Oh, elves don't use crystals, do they? Here, let me show you one. Crystals can store magical energy. They're common in the Old North as restorative items. Ooh, they're pretty. Since they merely store energy, crystals give different effects, depending on what is stored in them. Usually its colour will tell you what it does. 'Tis true indeed. Blessings of the Deus are white, as fitting for his divine gifts. Well, its white isn't because of holiness, I'm afraid. All energies which restore health are shown as white, even if it comes from other sources. But what other sources... But what other sources could there be, Sir Astori? Is it Astoria? Sir Astori? Or is it Astory? Okay. A vote. Astri or Astory? Well, Lassie Linton, I'll probably... Not that long, I think. I'm gonna do this quest and then I'll probably stop so I don't, wear out my voice and so on. Astory. Okay, so long or. Actually, I'll play this quest and then it shouldn't take long now, and then I'll save and sort of wind down, chat a little bit, that sort of thing. But what other sources could there be, Sir Astori? 'Tis not of the arcane thou art implying, is it? We all know such powers are not to be touched. It will corrupt us. Relax, Miss Arya. I'm not one to question the words of the law. Anyway, remember that all white crystals help you regain your health. Blue ones fill your stamina, and green ones whisk away negative effects. What about saving the dying? I heard the white ones can't do it. For that, Master Isaac, you'd need the red ones. They're by far the most potent crystals, powerful enough to heal grave wounds. Ooh, Ely never knew. Where does she get these crystals? 'Tis the task of gifted followers of the Deus to channel divine energies into crystals. Nobles in need can get them from any church for a small fee. Red crystals in particular are available for a very small price. 'Tis best for nobles to always carry them at all times, as they may save lives. Very important to not stress nobles here, because that's the default in Arya's world. The rest don't really matter. However, as they are rare and difficult to make, a noble is entitled to merely one at a time. That means a party of 6 like us may only carry 6 red crystals at most. And as long as Arya is in the party, that rule will be enforced. Miss Arya is correct. Therefore you must be careful in using crystals. The more you spend now, the less you'll have for battles to come. Crystals are a staple for knights and squires. Don't ever leave without them, since the road may get dangerous. Why don't you take some of my crystals? That's plenty generous of you. Bright red crystals, 3. Tiny white crystals, 5. You can get more at the church, but these should do for the moment. So many colourful crystals. Thank you, mister. My pleasure, little elf. Now, if you'll excuse me, I still have some rocks to find. Crystal dealer, indeed. He does have the sort of stereotypical look, doesn't he? It's getting dark soon. We should keep heading back. Well, we're basically there. Save. Yes. Override. Can we harass the, whoever that is? Nope. Oh, actually... Excuse me. Oh, there's a glade here. Hello. My husband likes to spend his pastime browsing around the marketplace. On the contrary, I love spending time in this particular area, away from the crowd. Opposites do attract, I guess. Yeah, well, I like it loud. Another RPG staple. Horny protagonists. Hello. Dun, dun, da, da. The screen movement is rather janky for me as well, so it's not fault of the stream. So actually this isn't a game for anyone who has trouble following sort of a janky screen. Welcome back, squires. How was your trip? Not the most pleasant. There was a huge boar on the road, and it attacked us. We defeated her, but then Ely felt bad for hurting the boar, so we let it go. Well, at least everyone looks to be in good health. That's something to celebrate. Dinner will be served in the Great Hall soon. Lord Levant and Lady Sophia will also be there. Finally, I'm so hungry I can eat a whole boar myself. A whole boar? Uh-huh. Fighting that boar reminds me of its sweet and juicy, succulent meat. Yeah. This is basically an orc. I just realised that I'm basically mimicking Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings orcs. Or rather, the Uruk. The Uruk-hai. Man flesh. Meat's back on the menu, boys. We shouldn't be late for the table then.
Before you go, however, you take a bath and make yourselves presentable, squires. You smell terrible.
Ah, level 5! Isaac unlocks Crouch. Hmm? Let's see. Oh. Isaac, what are you doing? I'm just watching the stables. Oh, is there anything interesting there to watch? I can, like, imagine her, like craning her neck over the banister. Not really. Then, why are you watching it? I'm just adapting to life in this castle, I guess. Are you not used to castles, Isaac? Ely, too, feels a little uneasy sleeping with stone walls everywhere she looks. That's why she likes to spend time outside like this, more than being inside. Were there a lot of horses where you came from, Isaac? Is that why you're watching them? Well, it's more about the people than the horses, really. The servants here do a lot of work, but I can see they're doing it happily. And the people of Mud Town? There's not a worry in the world for them. Okay, she. Yeah, do go stream before you pass out. Oh, Dalexi. It's funny to follow this with half an eye because I'm currently playing D&D where my character is a knight named Isaac who looks a little like the Isaac in the game. Is there fan art? Isn't that a good thing? Yeah, I guess. It's just different. I guess it has to do with having a lord you can trust. Lord Levant is such a man, it seems. Say, Isaac, Ely has a question about Mudtown. What kind of question? Ely saw many plants growing in rows and rows back in Mudtown. Why do they do that? Oh, you mean those turnips they were growing? Oh, so that's what they're called. Turnips? Why are there growing so many turnips, Isaac? There were only few people there. They're not growing the plants for themselves, Ely. The turnips are for Lord Levant. Oh, so those are grown as gifts? Gifts? I guess you can say that, though it's not exactly voluntary. It's the duty of the commoners to grow food for their lords, Ely. That's how it works here. Ely has heard that word during her travels, but she doesn't really understand. What is a commoner, Isaac? Commoners are anyone born outside of noble bloodlines. Bloodlines? Like yours, Isaac? Yes, like mine. Commoners provide nobles with food and service. In return, we protect them from harm. We're supposed to, anyway. Many nobles nowadays seem to have forgotten about this. Is Ili a noble too? Your father was a knight, wasn't he? That would make you a noble. Does that mean the commoners will grow turnips for Ili? Yes, the turnips they grow will be sent here for you to eat. Ili feels a little bad. They're the ones who work hard to grow the turnips, but she's the one who gets to eat them. And Ili's not even a knight yet. She hasn't done anything in return. It's a bit unfair, I agree. But that's how the human world works, Ili. If you want to return the favor, then remember to be good to them when you're a knight. After all, without the commoners, we wouldn't have food to eat. Yes, Ili understands now. She'll pay them back for the turnip she'll eat. If you keep that up, you'll be a good knight, Ili. Ooh, interesting stuff there. She's from a gift economy. The elves are communists. Okay, yeah, I'll save here, wind down before I strain myself, and there's a stuff to talk about, I think. This actually deserves a new save. Yeah, there we go. Oh yeah. Yeah, I don't want to do the banquet yet because that's going to be a lot of dialogue, I guess. What did you folks think? I, for one, I like the game more now that I'm, like, class conscious. The first time I played it through, I wasn't. I was a good little liberal. And I sort of thought, these are nice individuals. But now I so appreciate this game more. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Martunovo. I like the characters a lot. Yeah, I do too. I must say I played through with Arya. A lot of character development. And she's tragic as fuck. Really tragic. Ongoloinen, I enjoy watching the game played, but wouldn't probably like playing it myself. Yeah. No, thank you very much, Ongoloinen. I do feel more confident now. And it was fun, really fun. I will be doing this again. My schedule says that I do this every Friday. I'm not sure about the day. But I don't see a problem at the moment for about next Friday. Starting to find the voice for these. Oh, by the way, I do reserve the right, because it's my fucking channel, to stream this whenever I feel like it, so do follow if you want to be notified. Sami Kyllönen got some work done at the same time. Good. Highly productive then. Like my tongue isn't moving anymore. Like I'm perfectly comfortable like talking all day. I just run at the mouth. But voice acting, switching characters and that stuff, I can feel it in my face. This sort of 3 hours is probably on my maximum at the moment. Will probably develop as time goes on. But anyway, I really like this stuff, and I really like Isaac. I have the feeling that this game has a lot of replay value. The game isn't that long, actually. I seem to remember that I ran through it fairly quickly. But for instance, Isaac is completely different here than he was when I was playing with Arya. The interaction was different, and he seemed more like a peasant knight. Yeah, I do like it. I like the aesthetics. I like the dialogue in that all the characters have their own voice, very distinctly. They are written distinctly from each other, so it's not that hard to see who's talking without checking out the graphics or the headline. And it makes it easier to find a voice for them. It could actually be that it was sort of written with voice actors in mind, but they didn't have the budget. Because the game obviously didn't have a very big budget. But yeah, it's fun. I'm not so sure about the combat. It all sort of feels to me like a waste of time. Of course, it's early game, so that tends to be the case anyway. That the combat shouldn't be too difficult. Or, well, I'm not looking for difficulty really. I'm looking for interesting. But it's obviously, it is a grind quite on purpose, so that you can level up your characters. But I'm very interested to see where we're going with Isaac, because currently he still hasn't seen the contradictions in the power dynamic. That everything will be fine. He seems to think that everything will be fine if we have good tyrants. That Joe Biden is fine. Well, actually, he's not that stupid. He'd see that Joe Biden is terrible. But that he doesn't yet see the contradiction that there can be no good tyrants, or that being a tyrant is a strange role, because the tyrant's personal gain is to the detriment of the people. That's just the way it goes, because the power dynamic is tyranny. That you have a person who can simply dictate what other people live through, and they don't really have a say in it, except through violence. And it's a position where you have to be... It's a trap, because in order to be passable, like okay, decent, you'd have to be perfect. You'd have to know everything. You mustn't make any mistakes, because there are a lot of people who are going to pay for it every single time, and the stakes you're playing with are not your own. That it's other people who will suffer in your stead. and also that the when looking at your everyday life, then giving up power would look like giving up freedom for yourself, and it goes against your class interests. But I think Isaac could get there. He could get there, and this is a very, very interesting thing to see in a medieval fantasy setting and a medieval fantasy story, because medieval fantasy tends to be the history of great men. That you just need the right sort of hero to save everyone, and that heroes are good. And that simply is not true. Thank you, everyone. Oh, I think I'll push in some promotions. If you're into tabletop role-playing games, especially in Finnish, check out Noppatori. www.twitch.tv/Noppatori. We've played RPGs twice a week, and will continue to do so next year. And we only have a couple of streams left this year, but I will be running my Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition campaign next Thursday, before we go on winter break. We'll see what goes down. Torakorpi. It's basically a campaign where the player characters talk about their feelings while the dungeon master drafts maps that he never gets to use because they're battle maps and they never fight. But realistically, actually the pacing is about the same as in Critical Role. Every other session, big fight. That seems to be the case. But yes. Then I've got a YouTube channel about tabletop role-playing games. Ropehiran Kolo. The RPG Mouse's Hole. Mostly Finnish. Actually, one of those things that really kept me from doing the English thing is that I very determinedly stuck to Finnish in those videos, except for a few videos that actually are in English, because they're related to my master's thesis that it's still not done. But anywho, check that out if you're interested. I haven't updated that page for a while because I've been doing politics. Punatolkot. On YouTube. We do streams and that sort of thing, leftist content. Talaxi actually did his morning show this morning. Read and analyzed some news from a leftist perspective. I do rants on that channel, but again, very Finnish content. Because the thing is that LeftTube in English has an overabundance of material. Even the Argentinians do, like, and I think Spanish and an Iranian or Iraqi, I'm not sure. Anywho, lots and lots of people do that stuff in English. That's how I got into the leftist circles. But in Finnish, it's less common. But a shout out to Ville Poika actually on that. Visited his stream today. Good stuff. Political analysis. And yeah, what did I forget? I have way too many projects. Oh, great, Martunovo.
You can always use more Finnish in your life.
Yeah, and check out all the wonderful raiders. Not just Villapoika, but Onkaloinen as well. Music and video games. I hang out in chat every once in a while. He's also in Noppaturi, so you can find his silliness there as well. But yeah. Was that all? Music, video games, and sweet, sweet love. Oh yeah, next time I play this, Banquet, and more of the queen, or the lady, whatever her rank or title is. Thank you, Onkaloinen, for introducing Marttunovo to me. Raids, they're a wonderful thing. Is there someone... How do I raid? Because there's two options. Fun with Fondue, actually recommended. Excellent content in English, actually. Another Finn who does English content, political and gaming. Pretty much what I do here. Every once in a while it does some voices as well, I believe. But yeah, that's recommended. XSI02, that's probably she 02. Random silliness.
Okay.
I'd really like to raid someone, but because I'm new at this stuff, this Twitch culture stuff, I have no idea how to do that. Onkaloinen, can you help me out? Or chat in general. Yeah. Oh yeah, if I click away from the game, then the music stops, but I think it's fine. Okay. Let's raid she. I'll use the text command like I was lead. Let's see how badly I fuck it up.
See you on the other side.